So he left. And the promotion that Jarrett has ultimately is going to be number one because of the understanding that Jarrett has as a wrestler, as a promoter, and just of the wrestling business in general. Anyone who understands the psychologiness of the wrestling business, anyone who understands psychology a fair bit with professional wrestling should think about starting up their own wrestling promotion and launching a campaign to be a successful wrestling promoter. Because if you understand psychology, if you understand how the business works like a Jim Ross, then you should start up your own wrestling promotion. And this is why people like Jim Ross should start up their own wrestling promotion, because they understand the wrestling business. And there are so many people that should start up a wrestling promotion but never will, because they're leaving it up to people like Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Dixie Carter, Jerry Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett to run it. And it's unfortunate, because these are the people that should be the promoters, and why some roles should be reversed in the wrestling business. And I want your opinion on Dixie Carter running TNA Wrestling. Do you think she's doing an effective job as the promoter of TNA Wrestling and the president of TNA Wrestling right now? How would you compare her running TNA Wrestling to Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett, the Jarretts running wrestling from years ago? Do you think she's doing just as good a job, or do you think she's doing an awful job as the promoter of TNA Wrestling? And do you think it's time for Dixie Carter to get the fuck out of the wrestling business? Fuck yes, I think it's time for Dixie Carter to quit running a wrestling promotion, because she can't run a wrestling promotion. I like TNA Wrestling better when Dixie Carter wasn't on television as much. I like TNA Wrestling better when we had Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff running TNA Wrestling, because I remember Eric Bischoff running WCW and being the Raw general manager. Those were the years that I enjoyed watching Monday Night Raw, when Eric Bischoff was the inaugural general manager of Monday Night Raw and was the longest running general manager in Raw history, when he was competing with Theodore Long and ratings supremacy on SmackDown. That was great when Eric Bischoff was running Raw, and that's why I adjusted so easily to Eric Bischoff's ranking system in TNA Wrestling, and how he was helping Hulk Hogan run TNA Wrestling very effectively. And on a 5-star scale perspective, Eric Bischoff was phenomenal working with TNA Wrestling. Probably not as phenomenal as he was running WCW under the direction of Ted Turner, when Ted Turner was financing WCW very efficiently, but he was a great promoter, and a far better promoter and manager of TNA Wrestling than what Dixie Carter ever was. And this is why things need to change in TNA Wrestling, because they'll never be on a level of WWE with Hogan gone back to WWE now, and Vince McMahon still having something to do with WWE behind closed doors. This is where Dixie Carter's position needs to be in wrestling now. She needs to go back behind the closed door like Vince McMahon is presently behind, and leave it up to someone else to run TNA Wrestling, because I hate Dixie Carter for what she's done to TNA Wrestling. I think TNA Wrestling is going nowhere. There are probably some things you like about TNA Wrestling, but I fucking believe there are more things that you hate about TNA Wrestling than you will fucking ever love about TNA Wrestling, and you're just as disgusted about the direction of TNA Wrestling as I fucking am right now, because of everything going on so negatively for TNA Wrestling. There are more negative reviews being posted on our website's RSS newsfeed. You're probably tired of hearing negative reviews popping up on our Facebook page or Twitter, and I don't blame you for being tired of hearing about negativity towards TNA Wrestling, because there's nothing going on for it. The best thing TNA Wrestling had going for it was when Mick Foley and Kurt Angle were involved with TNA Wrestling and the TNA Knockouts division for Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. And they're not going nowhere anytime soon. Velvet Sky or Angelina Love is never going to get the TNA Knockouts division over, as long as someone like Brooke Tessmacher is always dominating the division. That was the best fucking thing TNA Wrestling had, and now they don't even have that to rely on. All we have to look forward to in TNA Wrestling nowadays is Dixie Carter. And I do apologize for shooting on Dixie Carter as much as what I have, but it had to be done, because Dixie Carter is the reason, along with a lot of other reasons, which I won't get into this week on a radio show, as to why TNA Wrestling is in this proverbial corner, trapped within this proverbial corner and in this precarious position, which there seemingly seems to be no way out of anytime soon. But what is your opinion on TNA Wrestling? What do you like about the promotion? What don't you like about the promotion? Are you tired of having the fact that it's a wrestling promotion thrown in our faces? Do you hate this one-night only series? There's no way the one-night only series is going to be able to compete with WrestleMania and SummerSlam and other staple pay-per-views in the WWE, like Survivor Series. Remember that rumor when they were going to kill Survivor Series? This only gives them a reason to keep Survivor Series as one of their 4 main pay-per-views every year to compete with this one-night only series. This is why WWE don't consider TNA Wrestling direct competition like they did 10 years ago, when fans were chanting TNA during WWE shows and everyone was getting paranoid in WWE creative over it. If TNA Wrestling were to revert back to their early earlier years, then yes, TNA would be number one, especially in 2014 with the limited amount of wrestling we get from WWE. But this is why WWE sometimes seems to be not as creative as they were in the days of the Attitude Era in their war with WCW for rating supremacy. It's because they don't consider companies like TNA and ROH direct competition. But if TNA were to revert back and bring back some of their names they had in earlier years, like Hulk Hogan or Mick Foley, then TNA wrestling would be on a level that would probably be even higher than WWE. Remember the years when fans used to prefer watching TNA wrestling over WWE because of how pathetic they considered WWE storylines to be? I don't consider their storylines to be pathetic anymore because TNA wrestling is not direct competition with them anymore, and it's just a little bit too much about wrestling, and we are a long way away from seeing TNA having any improvement, and that is unfortunate with the potential that TNA wrestling had 10 years ago. It's absolutely disgusting what Dixie Carter has done. I want your opinion on it. Leave it for us in the comments of this video at Jonathan Clarke 22, on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1, and on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke 22. Let us know what you think of Dixie Carter running TNA wrestling. Do you think it's for the better, or do you think that Dixie Carter and TNA need to come to a mutual agreement for Dixie Carter to get the fuck out of the wrestling business? And I think that's the best way of ending this video blog this week, is by saying that it's time for Dixie Carter to get the fuck out of the wrestling business because she has no idea how to run a wrestling promotion anymore. It's anything but good, and it's everything but frustrating, in my opinion, to hear about how Dixie Carter is running TNA wrestling into its proverbial hole and this proverbial grave. It's time for her to get the fuck out of the wrestling business. Let me know what you think of it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on Google Plus at HEW Entertainment. We have over 1,000 fans listening to our show on our Facebook page, 28,000 tweets on Twitter, and over 1,500 videos uploaded for you on our YouTube channel. Again, I apologize for my direct and very, brutal comments, brutal comments about Dixie Carter, because, I just think that Dixie Carter needs to get out of the wrestling business before it's too late. Justin Timberlake, and Not a Bad Thing, number 2 on the top 40 chart. It's going to be number 1 in time. Not a Bad Thing from Justin Timberlake, an original singer of NSYNC, is coming up after the break.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniel's rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast, or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts in either, and they let it all out in our interactive forums. You have a voice, so use it. Simply visit forums.WrestleZone.com. Don't just be active, be reactive in the official WrestleZone.com forums. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com. Complete with daily news, exclusive video, interviews, live radio broadcast, interactive forums, and the very popular Fight Finder with bios and complete match-by-match histories of your favorite fighters. SureDog is the only place you need when it comes to mixed martial arts. Visit SureDog.com today.
Hi, my name is Adam Nudelman, but I play the Phantom on the radio. I'm here to remind you that, oh, screw that, my book, Mysteries of Wrestling Solved, is available at finer bookstores everywhere. That stupid fake voice, I hate it. I wrote a book along with Sir Adam Kleinberg called Mysteries of Wrestling. It has the questions that you wanted answered. Why does Steve Austin hate Jeff Jarrett? Are referees really blind and stupid and dumb? Who is actually the toughest wrestler in the business outside of the ring? Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kamala. We get down and dirty with insider facts you've never read about anywhere else. So what are you waiting for? It makes a great stocking stuffer. You're too short, you buy 3 of them, you get tall, you just stand on them. Mysteries of Wrestling Solved by ECW Press, written by Sir Adam Kleinberg and Adam the Phantom Newdelman. Available everywhere. It's done. The plug is done. I'm done. I didn't sell it well enough. There's naked pictures of China in there. Okay? Thank you.
Available now on DVD. John Triton is on the toughest, most important mission of his life.
They have a hostage. It's my wife.
And with everything on the line,
I gotta do something, and I gotta do it now.
nothing and no one can stop him.
See, I tried to kill this guy twice today.
Now, see the Marine in a whole new way with the unrated version. Get more edge-of-your-seat action, more mind-blowing explosions, more of the Marine. This unrated version features material too hot for theaters, plus special behind-the-scenes features. John Cena is the Marine. Only unrated version. Available now on DVD. Rated version also available.
I know what you're thinking. I'm not a real athlete. I'm just a wrestler. I'm 6'10", 328 pounds.
I won boxing's Golden Gloves 3 years in a row.
I was a national champion at the University of Miami. My jersey was retired at Florida State.
I was the ultimate fighting champion.
When you step through those ropes, bad things do happen. Had over 200 stitches. I suffered a dozen concussions. Broken bones. I separated shoulders. Damn near broke my neck. Blown out knees. But I still got up. This is who I am.
This is what I do. I'm not really an athlete.
This isn't real.